either book or television show. I don't follow her like that, so I wasn't really paying attention this week when she was doing her rounds, but for the fact that she, had something to say about Lizzo. More importantly, about diabetes and being overweight. So when asked about Lizzo, I think Jillian Michaels, and don't quote me on this, but I believe that her response was, why can't we just celebrate Lizzo's music? Because honestly, if we are at the place, she said, and I quote, the pendulum has swung. Originally, we were saying that people can only look a certain kind of way in order to be attractive and in order to, really just get into their celebrity bag. And she was like, I think that what we've done as a society is decided that since we are so good and we don't talk about people and we don't fat shame people, now we're going to big people up for being overweight. And she was like, you are not going to be happy when this woman that everyone says that they love is dying from cancer, heart disease, as well as a myriad of other health issues. Well, it didn't take long for the internets to go in and deep dive right into Jillian Michaels' ass. Now, here's the facts. The facts are that heart disease is the leading cause of death in women, specifically Black women, followed by cancer, followed by a numerous amount of other things, which diabetes, which can all be traced back in some way, shape, or form, not always, but can be traced back to being overweight. I think that Jillian Michaels definitely had a point. Again, let's keep in mind the fact that she didn't just come out here and say, oh, I'm just going to talk about Lizzo because that's going to get me some attention. She was asked. And I think that, Jillian Michaels is not a doctor. However, she has been a health guru and a nutritional coach for years. I think that what she's saying in context isn't wrong. I think that we are celebrating a lot of unhealthy things in our society nowadays, and it isn't limited to how we see weight. It is also how we view drugs, how we view alcohol, how we even view promiscuity. I think that the pendulum has definitely swung the other way. With that said, I don't necessarily think that she needed to go in on Lizzo the way she did. I felt like she went in. What say you? Again, I do believe that she was just giving her opinion, but I don't necessarily, not even her opinion. I think that a lot of what she was saying was based in fact. I mean, diabetes, cancer, heart disease, a lot of these can be traced back to being overweight. But those aren't the only. Being overweight isn't the only way that you can get any of these diseases. But it is a major way to die from these diseases. And I think that instead of us saying that, if we love Lizzo, we'll let her do whatever she wants, or any person who's overweight in your life, I think that we have to find healthier ways to be able to communicate that, hey, I care about you, or we care about you, or you should care about you enough that, listen, here's one thing I know. Everybody's body is not made to be small. Period. Everybody's body is not made to be little. And I think that and I don't think that's the thing. I don't think that Jillian Michaels was saying that in order for this to be made right, Lizzo has to be a size 6, a size 8, a size 10. I don't think that's what she was saying. I think what she is saying is you got to be healthy. And healthy doesn't mean skinny. Healthy means healthy. You know what I mean? Like, I think that we've got to get out of the place where, like, in order for us to love people, that means that we have to agree good, bad, or indifferent with all the bullshit that they do. I think we got to get off of that. because nothing could be further from the truth and more damaging to someone. I think the way that you show people that you love them is that you encourage a healthy lifestyle for them. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think about this whole Lizzo thing and Jillian Michaels? I mean, I don't know. I just think that I personally don't think, and I know what you're saying. You're like, oh, well, Jillian Michaels needs to mind her business. It's been alleged that Jillian Michaels has even gone under the knife for surgery at some point. And she was, if I'm not mistaken, Jillian Michaels was at some point in time in her life overweight. So I think that that is what essentially led her to wanting to get into the health business, the nutrition business, is that at some point in time, she was overweight. Excuse me while I roll my blunt. So yeah. Anyways, speaking of some bullshit, can we please talk about how you guys are all judging Lori Harvey and thinking, now we're not going to keep talking about this shit, okay? Now Lori Harvey, along with, I gotta say this. Can we stick a pin in Lori Harvey for a minute? And I heard you, that joke wasn't funny. But anyway, stick a pin in Lori Harvey for a minute, right? I know some Capricorns. I have not realized this in all my life, but Capricorns are some of my favorite people. You guys, why did y'all tell me this? I've been living for Capricorns all this time and I didn't even know it. Some of my favorite people are Capricorns. Mary J. Blige, Lori Harvey, Issa Rae, my very dearest, gorgeous niece, and one of my favorite uncles, and one of my favorite cousins, and one of my favorite friends. Hey, Spency, all January folks. All right, so I'm excited about that. But speaking of birthdays, Lori Harvey is celebrating her birthday down in Montego Bay with a host of B-list celebrities, which include Fab's stepdaughter, with Emily B. I think her name is Taina. She's out there with G Herbo or No Limit Herbo or whatever his name is. I don't even know. I couldn't tell you one song he sings. I don't know this. I'm sorry to that man. I don't know that man. All I know is he go out with Fab's baby mother's daughter. That's it. And so, yes, Tiana Taylor's out there with her sexy ass and that sexy ass husband of hers, as well as Jordan Woods, as well as a bunch of other black celebritantes, all celebrating Lori Harvey's birthday, who she's also out there with her family celebrating her grandfather's birthday. So, also along for the trip is Lori Harvey's alleged boo, Future. So all the girls are up in arms because, baby, Future is claiming her. He claiming her. Yes, honey. Future is along for the ride on this little couple's trip. And, yeah, it seems like they are a thing. Now, just because they're a thing doesn't mean that she's boosting it wide open for him. Because I know a lot of y'all like to equate the fact that, oh, if they're together, that means she busting it open for a real nigga. I don't want to debate whether or not Lori Harvey is actually busting it open for Future. I don't even know. What I do know is it looks like the young lady is having a great time being 23 and being single and being beautiful. And you know what? I consider her a dating shaman, if you will. She has bagged some of the baddest niggas, and that's all I have to say about that. Speaking of It Wasn't Me, it is seeming like Shaggy has given us a little tea about this Rihanna album that we're never going to get. Apparently, Shaggy revealed that he turned down Rihanna's invitation to be on her new album because he was asked by the label, which I'm assuming is Def Jam, Rock Nation, Def Jammy. He was asked to audition to be on the album. Now, do y'all think of that? Now, if you're not Jamaican, right? I'm sure you'll know Shaggy from the classic hit tune, It Wasn't Me. If you also know, you know him as Mr. Lover Lover, Mr. Bombastic. And let's see, what else do we know by Shaggy? It Wasn't Me, Bombastic. And I mean, I guess if you are a reggae lover, you know him for some dancehall classic hits, right? Okay. So apparently Shaggy was asked that if he were wanting to participate in Rihanna's upcoming album, he would need to audition, which I find to be a little bit off-putting. You want to audition Shaggy? First of all, I wouldn't even want, no shade. I don't want to hear Shaggy on a Rihanna album. Like, I don't. I love Shaggy. I'm Jamaican, so I love Shaggy, okay? But I don't want to hear... Shaggy to me is like... He's not like reggae dance hall like... I don't know, like Movado or Alkaline or, any one of the newer artists. I don't see him as that. I see him as like a pop reggae artist in some ways. And it could be because he had his hits. But also I never saw him as that. You know what I mean? So I don't necessarily think that I want to hear him on Rihanna's album. But we'll see what happens. He himself said that he was not down for the auditioning process, so he will not be taking part in this album extravaganza. So I guess we, along with Shaggy, are all waiting to hear what this album is going to sound like without him. So it looks like this week, kids, for all you bitches that are out here loving that stupid Justin Bieber song, Yummy. Oh, wah, cry me a river and call a wambulance. Because it seems as though Yummy is not that yummy on the charts, coming in at a solid number 2 behind Roddy Ricch's The Box. Now, if you guys have not listened to Roddy Ricch's album, first of all, here's a couple of things about Roddy Ricch that you must know. I love his song with DJ Mustard, but you guys have to listen to Roddy Ricch's album. It was released sometime last year. It doesn't have many songs on it, but it is a dope ass album. To me, I think it's actually one of the best albums of 2019. If you ask me, if not the best, and that's putting a heavy stamp on it. But I actually really think that Roddy Ricch is so talented, and I love the fact that he always looks like he just is not here for the bullshit, and he seems to be a really woke young man. So he is actually holding on to the number 1 spot with his song, The Box. If you're not familiar with it, get on your iTunes or your Spotify and get to know. But yeah, so Justin Bieber's single Yummy, which was released on January 3rd, is holding on at the number 2 spot. Much to his chagrin, he is on a champagne campaign to get you guys to put him at number 1. Even to the point that Roddy Ricch himself gave a shout out to the fact that he is number 1, but also urged his followers to go and stream Yummy. How desperate. So for all of you girls that like that stupid song, good on ya, not for me. Can somebody tell me why y'all let y'all Uncle Trick Daddy get arrested? And what the fuck is up with his hair? All right, so apparently Trick Daddy found himself getting locked up early Saturday morning after the police responded to a call about a driver in a dark Range Rover hitting signs and running red lights. When the officers approached the vehicle, the driver appeared to be asleep. Now, according to the Miami Herald, once they were able to wake Trick up, he reportedly told the officers that he had about 5 drinks earlier and he was at a club and he was dropping someone home and then heading home himself. The police report states that he had a slur speech, bloodshot, watery, glassy eyes, and he agreed to a field sobriety test, but was not able to pass it. He was taken to the Hammocks District Police Station, and while putting his belongings and his possessions in a plastic bag, the police found cocaine inside a dollar bill. His bond was set at $5,000. The cocaine was set on $5,000.